The moment a stranger slid a thin envelope onto my cafe table and whispered, "You will need this tonight," I knew my quiet life was about to end. The cafe sat at the edge of town, where the highway thinned into pine trees. I had been coming there every Thursday since my husband died, because it smelled like baked apples and because the owner never asked how I was doing. That day, I was there with my son Lucas and his wife Marissa. Outside, the Oregon sky hung low and gray. Inside, Marissa stirred her tea, the spoon clicking against the cup in a rhythm that made my shoulders tighten. "You really should think about downsizing, Eleanor," she said finally, her voice rehearsed. "That land is too much responsibility for one person now." Lucas nodded quickly. He had my husband's eyes, but none of his steadiness. "We just worry about you, Mom. The taxes, the maintenance. Winter is coming." I smiled, the polite smile I had learned over the last year. "I have lived on that land for 41 years. I know how to take care of it." Marissa exchanged a look with Lucas, the look that said, "Not yet, but soon." They stood to pay the bill together, whispering the way they had started doing lately. I stayed seated, gathering my purse, when I felt a presence beside me. She appeared so suddenly I startled. The woman was in her early 50s, with iron-gray hair and intense, unblinking eyes. "Eleanor Hayes," she said. It was not a question. "Yes," I replied, my heart racing. She placed a thin manila envelope on the table. Her finger shook slightly. "You will need this tonight. Whatever you do, do not open it here." Before I could ask anything, she turned and disappeared into the passing traffic outside. I stood there frozen, staring at the envelope. Lucas and Marissa returned moments later. "Everything okay, Mom?" Lucas asked. "Fine," I said too quickly, sliding it into my bag. My hands would not stop shaking. The drive back passed in a blur. They dropped me off at the end of my gravel drive, declining to come in. I watched their car disappear, feeling suddenly watched. My house waited at the end of the drive, the same home my husband and I had painted together. The land stretched behind it, acres of forest passed down through his family. Inside, I locked the door, something I rarely did before. I placed the envelope on the kitchen table and sat across from it as dusk slid into night. I only knew that for the first time, I was afraid of the people closest to me. I waited until the house was completely dark. At exactly 11:30 p.m., I slid my finger under the flap. Inside was a small brass key wrapped in tissue paper and a narrow strip of notebook paper. The handwriting read, 11:32 p.m. answer. Do not call back. My throat felt dry. I checked my phone. 11:31, at exactly 11:32, the phone rang, sharp and sudden. The screen showed no name, no number. I answered on the second ring. "Hello?" I said. At first, there was only slow, controlled breathing. Then a voice came through, low, distorted, but unmistakably familiar. "Eleanor," the voice said. My knees went weak. It was my husband. No, my mind screamed. Impossible. "Do not trust Lucas," the voice continued. "Do not trust Marissa. And do not trust the local police. You are not safe where you are. The land is the reason. They want it empty." "Who is this?" I whispered. "This is not funny." "I wish I could explain," the voice said, sounding desperate. "But if I do not keep it short, they will find me. My death was not an accident. If you let them push you out, they will erase what I left behind. The truth is under your feet, Eleanor, and you have very little time." The call ended. I checked the call log, nothing, no record of the call. I did not sleep that night. I sat there until dawn, knowing one thing with terrifying clarity: whatever had killed my husband was still alive, and it was closer than I had ever imagined. Lucas came back the next morning at 8 a.m. without calling. He walked in carrying 2 coffees and a tight smile. "Morning, Mom. You look tired." "I did not sleep well," I said evenly. He sat down, his eyes lingering on the door to my husband's old office. We need to talk. Marissa and I have been discussing your situation. This land is a burden. You do not need to prove anything anymore. I am not a burden to myself, Lucas. He exhaled sharply. Mom, it's about reality. If something happens out here, no one would know for hours. An accident, a fall. The word accident made my stomach tighten. Marissa arrived an hour later, unannounced, scrolling through her phone. Lucas and I reviewed your accounts, she said coldly. Just to understand where things stand. You had no right, I said. Lucas has an obligation to know, she smiled politely. You are dipping into savings at an alarming rate. Grief is clouding your judgment. Lucas leaned forward. Mom, maybe we should talk about guardianship. Just temporarily. The room went very still. Guardianship? You want control, not protection. Marissa sighed. Eleanor, please. If you agree to sell the property and move closer to town, all of this goes away. If you do not, we will have to move forward without your consent. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Farms are dangerous places. People your age get hurt all the time. It would be tragic if something happened. I stood up so fast my chair tipped backward. Get out of my house. Now. They left together, Marissa already dialing her phone, Lucas glancing back with a look of pure calculation. They were not worried about me, they were afraid of what I was standing on. I went straight to my husband's office and opened the filing cabinet. Hidden behind the deed paperwork, I found bank statements showing massive cash withdrawals ending 2 weeks before his death. My husband hated cash, he was hiding a trail. At the bottom of the drawer, a yellow note in his handwriting read, Eleanor, the truth is buried, and silence was the only thing that kept you alive. I searched his computer next, using the address of his first property as the password. It unlocked, revealing archived emails with a criminal defense attorney and night photographs of the forest near the old slope, a place he always told me to avoid. Suddenly, my phone vibrated with a text from an unknown number, You are doing the right thing. Do not confront them. They are already watching. Just after sunset, the phone rang again. It was a man's voice, clear and urgent. If you are alone, do not hang up. My name is Grant Mercer. I am someone your husband trusted. There is a service tunnel under your property, Eleanor. Lucas found it years ago and used it to hide illegal shipments. Your husband discovered it, confronted Lucas, and refused to be silent. That is when they decided he was a problem. He did not drown. I whispered. His car was forced off the road, Grant said. They want the land sold now so the evidence is buried under new construction. They want you gone. They are running out of patience. The line went dead. The knock came just after midnight. 3 slow, deliberate taps. Mom, it is Lucas. We need to talk. Then a second voice joined. Mrs. Hayes, this is Deputy Collins. We are here to check on you. The police. Do not trust them. Looking through the window, I saw Lucas, Marissa, and a patrol car. I opened the door just a crack. What is this? Deputy Collins spoke up. We received a report that you may be experiencing distress. We need to come in. I am fine. You can leave, I said. Marissa's voice sharpened. Eleanor, don't make this harder. Lucas reached for the door. I slammed it shut, locked it, and ran out the back door into the freezing night. Flashlights cut through the woods behind me as Lucas shouted, Mom, stop. I knew this land better than they did. I reached the clearing near the old slope, dropped to my knees, and dug into the cold mud until my fingers struck a heavy plastic container. Footsteps crashed behind me. A beam of light caught my face, revealing Lucas, twisted with panic. Give it to me, Mom. You don't understand. I understand everything. I screamed, tearing the container free. I sprinted toward the old service road where a car idled with the passenger door open. "Get in," a woman called. I dove inside, slamming the door as the car surged forward. Lucas stumbled to a stop in the rearview mirror. The driver looked at me. "My name is Claire Donovan. I worked with your husband." "Open it." Inside the container were flash drives and a letter. "My dearest Eleanor, I left you with this burden, but you were always stronger than you believed." Claire spoke quickly. He documented everything, the tunnels, the payments, and proof that Lucas and Marissa coordinated it all. "We are setting a trap. Tell them via text to meet you at the house tonight to get it back." That evening, I stood in my kitchen under the lone overhead light. The container sat on the table. The door burst open. Lucas and Marissa entered, with Deputy Collins behind them. "You have no idea what you have done," Marissa said coldly. I looked at my son. "You killed your father." Lucas broke down, shaking his head. "I did not mean to. It was just supposed to scare him." "Shut up, Lucas. He was a liability." Marissa snapped. "That was all we needed to hear," I said quietly. Suddenly, the lights snapped on, and federal agents flooded the room with weapons drawn. "Federal agents! Nobody move!" The deputy froze. Marissa screamed. Lucas collapsed to his knees in handcuffs. He looked up at me, crying. "Mom, please." I looked at him with absolute clarity. "You chose this. Not me. Not your father." The tunnels were permanently sealed, and Lucas and Marissa were heavily charged. I did not attend the hearings. Instead, I walked my land, letting the earth remind me that not everything buried is meant to stay hidden. My husband's secret trust ensured I would never be forced out. He had prepared for this, accepting his own fate to save mine. At 67, I learned that strength does not announce itself, it reveals itself when you have nothing left except your own judgment. The land is still here. So am I. And the truth now rests where it belongs. Not buried, but known. If Eleanor's story and her incredible strength kept you hooked, please give this video a like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more gripping suspense and mystery audio stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a twist.